Mom kidnapped. Katie needs to make 10K in the next 30 days. Brand, no trucks, no social proof. Gun to her head in the store in Albania. Me and Caden are going to break down exactly how we would do that using the most boring business model. The boring business model we're going to be talking about this video is a moving company. Mom kidnapped, gun to her head in the store in Albania. I need to make 10K in the next 30 days or I'm never seeing my mother again. Me and Caden are going to break down exactly how we would do that using the most boring business model. Caden?
Get it done. 30 days.
Do you want your mom? Do you want to see your mom again?
Yeah, no, we're locking in. So 30 days, 10K, and we don't see our moms. Let's do it.
Awesome. So what is this most boring business model? The most boring business model we're going to be talking about in this video is a moving company. Caden has done over $40,000 a month with his moving company. I done over 6 figures a month with my moving company. It is one of the most outdated industries, boring business models of all time. If you haven't below, join the Discord. If you want to learn more about starting a moving company, join the one-on-one if you're interested in getting one-on-one support. I digress. Let's get into the video. So mom's kidnapped. You know, mom, she's right here. Mom's right here. Mom's here. Gun to her head. This is no jokes. Gun to your mom's head. Are you really gonna let her, not make it out? Absolutely not. That's what we're not gonna have happen. So, we're gonna get Caden here. He's a little taller. And we're gonna use Caden's example. So Caden's a young lad, and that was his mom. So Caden likes to wear backwards hats. So we got good old Caden here. Capital K. So Katie needs to make 10K in the next 30 days. Our mom, nothing. Kidnapped starting with 0. First thing we're gonna do with starting a moving company is obviously, we're gonna have no brand, no trucks, no social proof, which is not a good thing. Nobody knows about us. Nobody knows who we are. We're not even a company at the end of the day. So obviously we're gonna need to get eyeballs so we can save Caden's mom. We need to look legitimate as fast as possible. We're going to break down exactly how we do that. Revenue over aesthetics. I'm going to say it again. Revenue over aesthetics. I'm going to say it one more time. Revenue over aesthetics. You want to be, the guy who's rolling around with the unbranded truck when you start out. Pockets full like a little baby. Not this guy who has all his branded trucks, pockets are 0. So you don't want that. Revenue always over aesthetics. Always simplicity will always win. Keep going. Speed to leads beats perfection. This is kind of going on at that last point. So, it's not all about looking fancy. It's not all about setting up your LLC. It's not all about, having the fanciest website. Literally, bare bones, moving company, at the end of the day, it's a service that people genuinely need. It's not a want. Billions and billion dollar industry. Very easy to come in, be simple, be professional, and we're going to get to that 10K in 30 days. So let's go ahead here. Day 1 through 3, foundation in 72 hours. So we're going to want to be operational and bookable as soon as possible. How are we going to do this? Phone number and call routing. Number 1. Number 2, we're going to go ahead and set up our Google business profile. So this is going to have our name. This is going to have all our details, and it's going to have our website. We're going to have all that. Ideally, we're going to have a professional location on there, all that good stuff. We're going to set that up, look professional. Then we're going to get our website, simple one-page website, simple landing page. All we're going to want here is something where people can get their information. This is day 1. Day 1. Day 1, somebody can go on our website and enter their information and have us call them and book. We have our number, we have all that. Service area definition, so local only. So obviously, moving, like I said, is a $1 billion industry. Wherever there's houses, wherever there's people living, there's business there. So, you're gonna wanna find your service area. So let's go ahead and, so we're gonna find our service area. And these look like some houses. So, these are some houses here and here. These are exactly what we want. If there is these nearby you, that means there is business opportunity here. Caden, do you want to add anything on so far?
Yeah, I mean, main thing is
You can
just
draw on stuff.
day one. Sorry, go ahead.
I said you can draw on stuff. Yeah.
I don't have any artistic ability, but mainly, main thing, day one, you just want to have as big of a digital footprint as possible because any marketing that you're going to do after day one, whether you send a mailer, you knock on a door, you run an ad, whatever you do, there's a tons of different things you can do. But the first thing someone's going to do is they're going to look you up, and you're competing against companies that have been around for 10, 20 years, whatever. So you are at a little bit of a disadvantage because no one knows who you are and no one trusts you. So the more they can find about you online, the better. So you're going to want, like Hogan said, one-page website, Facebook, Instagram, Nextdoor, Yelp, like just be in as many places as possible. And that's like literally day one, you need to have that done. It doesn't take long.
Cool.
And I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, just wait. Points coming up here, buddy. Yep. So just like Caden said, simplicity will always win. At the end of the day, nobody knows who you are. You are absolutely nobody. We need to make 10K in the next 30 days or moms isn't going to be found. So pricing rules, minimums, hourly rates. So what we're going to want to do, we're going to do a little bit of market research. Again, this is day one. Cool. What are people charging in my area? How can I differentiate a little bit? How can I switch up my pricing? So, me and Caden, we're going to find some simple pricing. We might undercut the market a little bit. And we're also going to stick out. So we're going to already have our pricing. Amazing. Day 4 through 10, lead generation engine. So 4 through 10, we have all this set up. Days 1 through 3, full foundation. We're ready to rock and roll. Caden, he's got his phone out. Let's go ahead and young Caden here. Again, he likes to wear backwards hats. Make sure we get him in here. Look at bro. He's got his phone out. He's got money in one hand. He's got his phone right here. He's talking. He's ready to talk to clients. This is where you're going to be at day 4 through 10. We are ready to talk to clients. Mom is in Albania. We need to get her saved. What are we going to do? Lead generation engine. Race car. Boom. Let's go. So lead generation engine. Google Maps visibility basics. So this is going to be very basic. We're not going to go into Google Maps masterclass here. We're going over the basics. So we are going to want to have all our information on here. 2, we're going to want to have good starting images. I don't care if you use AI. I don't care, if you maybe go to competitors, go to other states. All you want is good pictures on there, good updates. You want to fully optimize Google. You want it in a good pin, and you want people to be able to see you organically. So I always say use the Costco method to find the best spot. Put your Google, go there, and you'll get organic traffic. Okay, do you want to add anything on this so far?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
We need to say mom. Door-to-door strategy. So this is literally, in everything we've done to this point, $0 has been spent so far. Maybe we asked the guy on the street for $10 to set up our number, and that was it. So door-to-door strategy. So door-to-door strategy is the easiest way to number one, talk to people. So you got good old Kate in here, backwards hat and all, Bro's fresh. He is talking to homeowners. This is a homeowner, really nice lady. Very, very nice. Old lady, she's like 90. She said, OMG. So when Caden went and knocked her door, she said, OMG. Because she sees Caden's a nice young man. She sees he's professional, he might be wearing a polo his mom gave him before she got kidnapped, so he does look pretty professional. So he's going to be going to apartments, he's going to go to storage units and realtors. Again, completely free. For example, let's say Caden this call, let's say he's the homeowner. Let's say I'm Caden. Oh, hey, what's going on? Mary, we're actually down the street, a few weeks ago. We actually just got done moving the Johnsons. Moved their entire house, like a 5-bedroom house. I actually kind of just want to introduce myself. I know that your guys' house was for sale. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Shake a hand, meet a friend. It looks like you guys do need a moving company, and it is actually pretty cool. I actually do own a moving company as well. Isn't that crazy? Look at my big muscles. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys my contact. Let's go ahead and do a walk through the house and get you guys quick pricing and make sure something makes sense, and make sure you guys get hooked up. Cool. Caden just got his first client. Beautiful. $0 spent in his mom's polo. Beautiful. Caden's got his first job. You know, that's probably what, from a big house, let's just say 5K. We'll round it up a little bit, why not? So Caden just did a little bit of legwork. You know, he might have got a job in their stores, you know, but, you know, he was knocking all day and he landed a house. Nice. So, yep, Caden, you know, he's on
I just want
Facebook.
to add, that is literally how I got my first job.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, when I was 19 years old and I had no idea what I was doing, door-to-door sales, I went on Zillow, Redfin, whatever, properties for sale in my area. I went around, knocked doors. That's how I got my very first job. Like, this shit works, so we do it.
Yep. And Caden landed, so Caden landed his first job. That's 5K in the pipeline. Mom, we only need 5 more K to get you. We only need 5 more K to get you, Mom. So, you know, Caden, young lad here. Caden is on his computer. You know, he's typing away. You know, he was scrolling. You know, Caden does wear a backwards hat. He shaved his head completely bald, by the way. So day 4, Caden shaved his head completely bald because he's not talking to any girls anymore. He wanted to lock in. What's the point? Facebook's deleted, TikTok's deleted, or not Facebook. All social media's deleted except for his business. He's locked in. He's getting to the money. You know, on his computer. You know, Mary, she is scheduled for January, or she's scheduled for June 3rd. So, beautiful. First client, done, booked, ready to go. Awesome. Caden is now on his computer. Tough guy right here. He's going to be on Facebook Marketplace, you know, local groups. He's going to have a posting strategy to, you know, reach out to the market. So what type of groups would Caden want to join? We're going to be joining all types of groups. We're going to join the local college groups, you know, moving into whatever LSU. You know, we're going to be joining all, you know, new homeowners in this area, all the neighborhood groups. Caden's going to get his foot in every single door. And, you know, while he was at Mary's house, he took a photo with her, with one of his clients, and he put that in his post. So, you know, he's getting all his boost. Caden's muscles, you know, he's getting all this traffic from old ladies. So, you know, he's getting some leads in there. He's building up his clientele. Speed the lead. So when Caden put those posts out there, you know, he's probably getting some calls. You know, his Google's starting to pick up. You know, we're really starting to get some traffic in here. Caden is on his phone all day long. He has nothing to do. You know, he's out of high school. He wants to make some money. So, you know, when he gets a lead on Facebook, when he gets a lead on Google, he's getting to it within 30 seconds. Answering the phone, you know, building a good rapport. Hey, what's going on, Dan? Hey, what's going on, Dan? How you doing? You saw me on Facebook. I was the handsome young man next to Miss Susan. Oh, awesome, Dan. Well, we got to make sure you get hooked up with this move. Let's go ahead and do it. Caden, what do you want to add to this?
I would say if you're starting to get leads, speed the lead. Yeah, answer the phone. Like, keep your ringer on. Literally glue it to your hand. And then the next thing, because you have so much time on your hands, I would schedule an in-person estimate. And if it's from a Facebook group, right? Obviously, if you're doing door-to-door, you can go walk through the house with them, give them a price right then and there. But if it's coming from a Facebook group, like, schedule an in-person estimate, go out, meet with the homeowner, like, and then do the same thing you do with the door-to-door sale. Walk through the house, see what they're moving, build rapport, build a relationship, show them your face, earn some trust, address their concerns. Then you can present the price and close them there. But speed the lead, do that like as fast as possible, right? So if you answer the phone, like, you say, hey, like, I can come out this afternoon. If you can't do this afternoon, tomorrow morning. If you can't do tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. Do everything as fast as you can.
So you see my pointer here. So script. So, you know, Caden had that time. You know, he built him out maybe a script. You know, maybe he joined. If this is a reminder, join Moving Monopoly Discord down below. I'm gonna say it again. If you're watching the video, this point, join the Discord down below. If you want to help working one-on-one and start your moving company, click the link down below. Regardless, join the free Discord if you want to scale your service-based business. If not, stay poor, don't scale. Anyways, we digress. You know, there might be free scripts in there, there might not. I don't know. You know, Caden did join the Moving Monopoly Discord, and he got a free script, completely free. Pretty cool. He's been using it. You know, he's been answering calls from Dan, Susan. He even got a date with a girl using that script. It's crazy. You know, he's using this script. He's answering leads. He's calling, and he is closing them. You know, Caden's not a sales guy, but he is a young guy, and he doesn't know how to talk to people. So, you know, it's really not too hard for him to close. So, you know, he has closed some leads, and, you know, he's closing. He closed 4K in jobs. Done deal. Done deal. You know, pricing, you know, Caden is on his pricing with these closed jobs, you know, 9K in pricing. You know, he worked out his pricing a little earlier. He figured out his job size. He figured out all of his pricing, his objections. Like I said, he's a good guy. Deposit. Caden's just been collecting payments via Zelle to his bank account. You know, again, we're starting from zero. Caden, you know, 2 leads. Let's say you close 3 leads. That's 4K. You got that one nice door knocking lead. That was a nice 5K big house. And that was crazy. So days 11 to 30. So he's going to hit 10K by stacking these jobs. Daily revenue targets. So Caden set these targets up. And you're going to want to set these targets up to at least, you know, have his own KPIs, whether that's door knocking leads, whether that's talking to a minimum amount of people a day. Caden wants to shoot to a certain amount of close a day. So if we're shooting for 10K a month, you could close 1 person a week and still hit this target. You got to remember, our average ticket in this industry is going to be anywhere from 1 to 5K. So totally achievable. Caden already found his area. You know, he found all his upsells and everything he put in the job. That's how we were able to get these high tickets. You know, he did a really good job at Mary's house, and Mary actually referred him to Dan, all within this week's span. Now, Caden is really, really pushing, but at the end of the day, he's only trying to get to 10K a month, so he's really not having to push that hard because, you know, he's able to achieve 10K a month with 4 jobs. Caden, do you want to add anything on this?
Caution.
Yeah, Caden is right on track. Here we go. You know, day 30, day 29. You know, Caden was a little stressed. You were at what, 9K?
Yeah.
Yep. So Caden was at 9K. Day 29. So he has 1 day to make. This was literally his face. Caden had 1 day to make 1K. And Caden was on his phone this day. He got a call from Morgan. And Morgan called him and said, hey, I saw your post on Facebook. I actually need my apartment moved tomorrow. Caden's smile went from this to this. And this boy was like little baby with 4 pockets full. This man had his mom, and this mom, he done had his mom back. Caden's mom was saved. Shout out Morgan. So, you know, he implemented these very small few steps, and he was able to achieve this. So we're going to go into a little deep dive on how he was able to achieve this in 30 days. So he stacked his jobs, he had daily revenue targets, all this. We are going to break down a little bit more on the pricing side, or on the pricing and closing. So we talked about he did Facebook, he did all this. Caden didn't even launch direct mail during this process. If Caden launched direct mail and stayed on top of all this, I think bro would have done 50K in that month. I'm not going to lie. In a good market. Anyways, I think Caden would have done a lot more than 10K. So we're going to kind of break this down. But mistakes, so obviously Caden, you know, he hit his goal. He hit 10K in a month. Mistakes mistakes that are red, that if he made these mistakes, his moms would never came back. He would not have made 10K in a month. Overbranding early. So obviously, let's say Caden sat here for, you know, 2 weeks, worked on his website, you know, made his LLC, worried about getting all the right stuff, all the right equipment, all the trucks, all that. You know, he would have spent too much time on that, and, you know, it's going to delay everything. And it's not focusing on revenue task, literally just basic business stuff of, you know, trying to like have the best logo. It's not important. Waiting on perfection, just what I said in the last thing. Underpricing for ego. So, you know, Caden did his market research. He looked around, see what other people were charging, and, you know, he didn't charge super cheap, but he also didn't charge super expensive. He charged right in the middle, found his good pricing, you know, he got some jobs closed. Ignoring speed of lead. Caden wasn't scrolling, Caden wasn't on Reels, Caden wasn't watching YouTube. Caden was literally getting to all of his leads within 30 seconds. He was on top of his shit. And what Caden did that was important is that on these jobs, yes, he was on all these jobs himself, but he also had help. He had some friends. I know he made a post on Craigslist. He made a couple hires, but he had 3 people with him at one time. So Caden was working as a team. He wasn't doing all this stuff by himself, and he was able to deliver jobs. So, Caden, do you want to add anything on 0 to 10K in 30 days?
0 to 10K in 30 days. I feel like when you look at this board, it's a lot. And even just hearing us talk about it and kind of riff on it, obviously we're not going in super depth and everything, or this would be a 20-hour video. But really, when you boil it down, like it's really very simple. It's not easy. It is hard work. But legit, like you can hit 10K with 1 job. You can hit 10K with 4 jobs. Like Hogan said the average ticket is 1 to 5K, but like when you really peel everything back, if you're starting from zero, your mom's in Albania or whatever, and you need to make $10,000 in a month, like peel it all back, it's as simple as this. Like, you want to lay your foundation, get as much trust as possible, get as big of a digital footprint as possible, and then just start marketing, like getting reps, whether that's door-to-door sales, direct mail, running ads, yard signs, like whatever you're gonna do. You just need people to know about you. Start getting the phone to ring and like just getting your face in front of people. And then from there, it is literally speed to lead. You answer the phone, you set up in-person estimates, you go meet with homeowners, you just try selling as much as you can. And the beauty of moving is people need the service. It's not a want, they need it. Once their house sells, they have no choice. So it's a super easy sell. And then from there, like once you book the move, it's literally just providing good service. It's not rocket science. It's moving. You pick up a couch, you pick up a dresser, you pick up some boxes, you move it from point A to point B. You don't damage anything. And if you do that, you're going to get a happy customer. And then from there, you ask for the review, you try to get a referral, and you literally just rinse and repeat that. And if you just keep doing that, you are, I mean, shit, you are going to blow 10K out of the water. But like, it's a lot. It's intimidating when you look at this whole board, but like, peeled back to its simplest form, that's all it is. And it's, again, it's hard work, but it's super simple. And you know, if you do that, you're gonna save your mom.
Yeah, very, very simple industry. Again, it's outdated. And you know, you're coming in as a young guy in the game, you're really making a difference. Obviously, we went over very brief saving a mom in this. Every bit of those steps, you know, we obviously skimmed over some stuff. We obviously skimmed over details, but at the end of the day, kind of what Caden said, it's a very simple process. If you kind of stick with a simple layup setup like that, like you will literally blow 10K out of the water. We're going to kind of conclude on this a little bit. So scaling and shortcuts, what changes once momentum hits? So, you know, obviously once you get your first couple jobs, whatever is working for you, whether it was Google organic, whether it was direct mail, keep your foot on the gas, keep applying pressure, and just keep funneling traffic. So obviously, let's say you get like one lead from like direct mail, you're not going to stop doing direct mail. I would triple down on that. Put as much time as possible, again, maximize it out. That's what changes when momentum hits, is you really putting the gas on, kind of figuring out what works and keeping it going. Hiring versus subcontracting. So in Caden's case, he hired a couple of his friends. Worst case scenario, you know, let's say, you know, Dan hired Caden, Caden couldn't fulfill that job. He gave it to, you know, the big company down the street, you know, told the customer, hey, you know, we're super busy. You know, we are partnering with a really company here, they're gonna take care of you. Caden got 10% of that job, you know, it's a win-win situation. Always hire your friends and stuff not, and if you can't handle it, go ahead and subcontract it. Subcontract that, I guess. Raising prices after proof. So, you know, obviously once you get your foot in the door and you do a good job, you know, you have testimonials, you're going to raise your prices and you will become very, very profitable. You're not going to be the cheapest for the longest time. Even if you have lower prices for a month, that's all it takes for you to get your foot in the door, get customers, get your first jobs, build that proof of concept. And then you will also build experience on actual job, whether it's building out a team or even just being on a truck yourself. Raise your prices and make more profits. Adding systems and CRM, so this just comes with scale. The bigger you get, you'll find kind of what works out for you, kind of figure out how you want to track them, you figure out how you take card payments, all that. There's a million different softwares, a million different CRMs. Again, you will find what works for you as you begin to scale. This comes with, you know, more jobs, you're building reviews, and trust fast. The more clients, the more reviews you need to get and funnel them to your page. And then obviously that's only going to boost your Google, it's going to only boost your Facebook, it's only going to boost, you know, if somebody looks you up. How mentorship shortcuts mistakes. So obviously, you know, me and Caden on here, very, very well versed in this. You know, me and him wouldn't be sitting on a Mire board at, you know, midnight, you know, making a video that's pretty educational. Me and Caden have gone through every bit of mistake you can possibly do. I have lost tens, if not six figures in the span of 3 years. Caden's lost a lot of money. Caden's made a lot of money, so have I. But, you know, when I was starting out personally, when Caden was starting out, there was absolutely nobody in this space except old heads, dudes who are divorced, you know, dudes with guts. Very, very outdated industry. There's like, even to this day, there's like no knowledge out there about it. If I could go and talk to someone like myself or someone like Caden with what he knows to this day when I started, I would literally have 3 SVJs. Mentorship will literally just shortcut. It will shortcut not knowing what to do. It'll shortcut mistakes, and you will fast track genuinely making money as soon as possible. Caden, do you want to add on that?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, like, same thing you said. I mean, the first, like, year and a half of my business was, like, literally trial and error, like, just thugging it out. I made so many mistakes. I didn't know a goddamn thing about sales. I didn't know anything about marketing. Like, I literally, everything I know about this industry, I pretty much learned it through reps. Been doing this for 4 years now. I pretty much everything you can fuck up in this industry, I have fucked up at some point. I'm sure, Hogan, you have your fair share of stories too. Like, even just joining like the free Discord, you will save so much time, so much money, and fast track. Like, I would have killed for this back in the day, especially with how big of tickets and moving is. I mean, it's just a no-brainer, honestly.
I'll just say this, business aside, 3 years ago, which would be January 2023, I was fresh out of high school, had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even start moving company until almost a year later. So literally, I went from poor, like not knowing what I wanted to do, fresh out of high school. Literally, like everybody's going to college. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. To starting this company and obviously having success with it. Caden has a similar story. I'll say that Caden dropped out of college, started a moving company.
Right.
Just like similar stories. You can literally have zero background, zero experience, and find success in a super boring industry just like this. I will say, the most money is in the most boring businesses. You're not like, obviously there's drop shipping, obviously all this. Caden tried every single business model. I didn't really business model too much. I tried drop shipping when I was like 15, but at the end of the day, it's a business model. It's a want for people. It's not just, or it's a need for people. It's not just a want. And it's $1 billion industry that, regardless of the economy, will always be around.
Yeah. I mean, I literally, I tried everything you could think of, everything you've seen on TikTok, everything you've seen on Instagram. I tried it, I failed, and I lost money doing it. I can almost guarantee it. Moving was the first thing that I had like actual success with, and when I started my moving company when I was 19, I dropped out of college, I quit my job, and literally like I quit my job, I had nothing going for me, and within 3 months I was making $15,000 a month, 19, with no guidance, no idea what I was doing, just thugging it out, move after move, sales call after sales call, rep after rep, just fucking figuring it out as I went. And like, I mean, I could have, like, if I would have known what I know now, like, you could fucking 10x that. Like,
that's what I was gonna say. If your 19-year-old self hopped on this call right now, me and you, what do you think?
Yeah, literally. So that leads me to a little bit more of my story. Literally less than a year ago, I started another moving company, and under 90 days, I hit 22K profit in a single month. Like, knowing and I used the system that I built over the last 4 years. But like, dude, once you have the system and once you know the process, like it's repeatable. You just run the playbook and it works.
So yeah,
it's such a stupid. Yeah.
We saved mom. We went from 0 to 10K. That's exactly how I would do it. That's exactly how Caden would do it. And if you have any more questions or want to learn anything else, Discord is down below. Obviously me and Caden are sitting here, very well versed in this. Join below or don't. That's how me and Caden would say, mom. Subscribe.